So, before we get started, I just want you guys to know that I have been trying to get the reclaimer in the videos. I've been trying to vary the ships up a little bit, but unfortunately, the reclaimer is suffering from the perpetual no command consoles in the ship and missing doors a bug. Yes, I have erased my user folder. Yes, I have restarted the client multiple times. Yes, I have reclaimed the ship multiple times. It's still broken. I want to use the reclaimer so bad, and it's like perpetually broken. So just so you know, I'm trying to get a variety of ships out there. But for today's topic, I want to touch on a bit of a sensitive topic. Arcorp in 3.4, is that still going to be a thing? So we're now well into the month of November. We're on the PTU for 3.3 still. Are we still going to get Arcorp by Christmas? Probably not. My guess would be that we're probably going to see Arcorp slide. I don't think it's a question of they can't get the assets ready in time, all of that. I think it's probably going to be more a question of the people that are probably, you know, the ones who are responsible for tying everything together, placing the mission NPCs, making sure all the locations work, all that stuff, are probably still tied up and working on Hurston and Lorville, and they're going to be for quite some time, and then to transit that over to Arcorp and hopefully have Arcorp ready. I mean, remember, we're still supposed to get, this is still supposed to go live. Then we're supposed to get a 3.3.5, which includes all that other content on top of that, and then we're going to get a whole other world with new mission givers and all that sort of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if 3.4 ends up being Hurston and Lorville, and the only things that really survive from 3.4 will probably be female playable characters and or what is it, stealth and FPS combat. Maybe gas clouds as well, because that's probably a whole different team working on that, but chances are, I mean, that's kind of how I see the rest of this year kind of panning out from my point of view. I might be wrong, of course, but that's kind of how I see it playing out, is we're not going to see Arcorp until next year, probably 3.5, or I was about to say 3.3.5, but 3.5. That's probably when we're going to see it. Am I mad about that? Am I angry about it? I'm just, because of the unique situation that we're in, you know, like Hurston and Lorville and everything that's going to go along with that, I'm not really. I'm more excited to see Hurston and Lorville right now, because we still haven't even gotten that yet. And that's what I'm more excited to see. And I think that there's probably a lot of people who are probably in the same boat. They're like, yeah, I would like to see Arcorp as well, but Hurston and Lorville being the next big destination, I would be kind of satisfied with that. I think if you could get the basic mission functionality nailed down to where Rico Battaglia isn't a waste of time, and most of the missions aren't a waste of time, and you can get it running with the frame rates and the performance that we're getting right now on the PTU with object container streaming, I'd be actually okay with that. I would actually be completely fine with that. To be perfectly honest, I mean, like, the Hurston and Lorville stuff is cool, and I'm looking forward to it, but for me, the big win in 3.3 was always going to be the object container streaming. And obviously, if you've been on the PTU and then had to go back to the PU, because I tried going back to the PU to get some footage of the reclaimer, where it was sadly broken as well, but where the performance was just so god awful that it was just like I mean, it was like taking off a wet and dirty shirt. It was like, I can't wait to get this thing off of me. It was really brutal. So I was happy to get away from it, and it really kind of reinforced my opinion that the real big win in 3.3 was always going to be the object container streaming, and Hurston and Lorville were just going to be the icing on the cake. As much content as we saw and as much of the stuff that they showed us, oh, it could be this, and you can do this mission, and you can get into a Jeep and drive around, shoot stuff, blah, 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 blah. The satellite, and you had to inspect the components and all this cool stuff. For me, the big win really was just the object container streaming. Like, please make the game run at an acceptable level of, performance. And they did it. Missions being broken or doors not opening, these are technical issues, but these are technical issues that are, things that are reasonable, that they can take on and that they can fix. They've exhibited this ability before. They can do this. Does it suck? Yes, it sucks. But you know what? It's not that big of a deal. But when it comes to something like object container streaming was always going to be the foundation of the game. If this didn't work, what was Star Citizen going to look like? I mean, we might find ourselves warping to various arenas, and that would just be our loading screen as we unloaded everything that we just left behind and then loaded everything that was coming in, instead of it being a realistic rendition of the time it takes to travel from one place to another. It'd be more of like a functional loading screen, just one that's very cleverly hidden. But once that got nailed down, and once you could have all this stuff working so smoothly, it really kind of said, okay, Star Citizen is entirely possible, the way that we want it to be. And so I wasn't, I'm not overly troubled by the idea that Arcorp isn't going to make it. And once again, this is my theory. This is my belief. This is not a fact. And I'm not presenting it as such. But my expectation is that Arcorp is indeed going to slide, and probably it's going to be the stealth FPS mechanics, female playable characters, and probably gas clouds, if anything, that survives in 3.4, as I believe that Hurston and Lorville are effectively going to take Arcorp's place. Now, it also comes to my mind that around this time 2 years ago, I had made a very similar prediction, and I had said I don't think that they're going to make it with this 3.0 by the end of 2016. I don't think so. There's too much going into 3.0, and I just don't think that they're going to make it. And I was wildly criticized for saying this. Like, you don't know anything about the development of the game. They have concurrent design teams working on this stuff. You don't understand, blah, 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 blah. How could you even make such a prediction? Of course, we're going to get 3.0 by Christmas 2016. And then, right. So I'm not trying to make a doom and gloom prediction. I'm just saying, hey, I'm just saying, I think that we all kind of are prepared and kind of understand, at least on a subconscious level, that we're not going to get Arcorp this year. It's just not going to happen, because even if the artists are done with the assets, there's still plenty of people that got to come in and plug all this stuff into that, make all that stuff work. Would I like to see it? Would I like to be wrong? I would be wildly enthusiastic to be wrong. I would absolutely be cheering my wrongness. I would be over the moon if I was wrong, but I realistically, I can't see it. I really just can't see it. There's so much going into Hurston and Lorville, so many different destinations, and it's not just like, just the town and the planet. There's the moons and everything that goes with the moons. And you think about all the moons around Crusader and all the stuff that goes into that. It's so much, and Arcorp is just yet another world like that, with all these things that go along with it. And at the same time, you have all these people right now still trying to push to get 3.3 out the door and not just 3.5, and then to have to switch on to 3.4, and we're already, 6 days into November. Come on, let's be real. But if you think about it, if you take the object container streaming that we have right now, and you can get these missions working, I mean all these missions basically functional to where you can complete them and you can go and you can make money, and you get it to the point where Teach's Ship Shop works, and Rico Battaglia and everybody else, all their missions work, and then you add into that Hurston and Lorville, things that we still don't have, things that we still have yet to see for ourselves beyond a presentation. If you add all that in and you figure all that stuff coming together by the end of the year with maybe a couple extra tidbits, that's still, I would still count that as a win. Is it when we wanted it to be? No. But it's a lot of cool shit that we're gonna get that we didn't have before. And so even if we don't get Arcorp, I'm not overly disappointed, because for me the big win was always going to be object container streaming, and anything beyond that really is just icing on the cake. Anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.